Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. So we played against GS Falcao. He was white, and let's see what happened. He started with e4. We played our repertoire d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3, e5, offering the endgame, and Falcao accepted the offer. So he went into this endgame, and this endgame is slightly better for white. When I started playing it, I liked it a lot as black, but the more I played, the more I like it for white. But okay, let's see what happened. Bishop c4, and I chose king e8. Yeah, bishop e6 was also possible, or bishop b4, but I chose king e8, bishop g5, and now important move c6 to cover these two squares. Very important. He castled queenside, and I spent maybe 2 minutes here, I'm not sure, to play knight d7, because the problem with this endgame is the first 5-10 moves are the most difficult ones, because that's where white can really hurt you. He can really hurt you if you make some mistake, because your king is in the center. Even though there are no queens on the board, you have to be careful. So yeah, I don't know theory here, so I just had to think on each move. So I wasted 2 minutes here. A knight e2, and then I spent some more time on this move because I was calculating this crazy variation. It seems stupid, but during the game it wasn't so clear to me what's happening here. But actually I figured out that this is not good for white. But I wasted some time to play b5, which is a desirable move. And of course my opponent didn't take, since he understood that it doesn't work. And now slowly I'm getting into the game. I'm developing my pieces. And here he made a mistake. f4 is a mistake because it loses material after knight g4. There are all kind of forks threatening to him. But here I also wasted about 2 minutes trying to figure out what happens after knight g4, and I don't really remember. I remember calculating it, but I cannot remember the exact line. I just remember that I felt uneasy with wasting time to capture that exchange, and also I saw another option, h6, and this is the one I liked, because if he retreats his bishop, he just loses a pawn. He cannot take that pawn because of bishop's check. And if he doesn't retreat, he gives up the bishop pair. And so I wasted 2 minutes evaluating what should I do, this or knight g4. And I like this one because it seemed pretty safe and it gives black the advantage. That was my evaluation. Of course, knight g4 was the right move to just win the exchange or some other material. But okay, this is also very good. Not as good as knight g4, but at least here everything was clear to me. So again, I'm threatening knight g4, so he played h3, and finally I can move my king up because there is no more dark square bishop. And here I don't like his move. He took on e5, and after knight d7 it is obvious that he is going to lose that extra pawn. And he noticed that in the future there will be pressure along the e file, so he gave up his extra pawn in order to close this file. But even though his decision was good, his position is still not good, and I think here it was best to give up one more pawn just to open the e file and try to take advantage of this king, because what he did is king b1, and now after knight e5, I don't know if this position is lost, but during the game I had a feeling that white is in huge trouble, because I have bishop pair, I have a monster knight, and also my pawns and pieces are controlling all the important squares. And suddenly even my king is better. It's not even in danger anymore. So let's see how the game continued. You will see in a few moves white's position will become hopeless. But yeah, okay, let's see. Bishop b6, and here he started exchanging rooks. I spent some time thinking, should I exchange both rooks or not? And I decided, okay, I'm getting low on time, so let me just exchange the rooks. Even though maybe it's easier for me to play with one rook, but not easier. I have more chances. But even here, I think it's fine. And okay, let's see. Bishop e8, improving the bishop. And after a3, king f6, he played g3. And here I wasted 2 minutes. So I used the word wasted in this video a lot because I really wasted some time on some silly considerations. So I was looking for a way to force this pawn forward and to weaken the dark squares so that I can go in with my king. But I couldn't see how to do it. And there is a simple way to do it. With bishop f2, I get my goal. Yeah? Note that he cannot keep that pawn back, because then I go in and there is a double threat. Sorry, that's not a threat. This is the threat. Yeah, the knight e3 is almost unstoppable. So he's just losing material. So I didn't see the simple bishop f2. So I played knight f7 and wasted time. Now I'm under 2 minutes. And now it's a problem. I have a good position, but I don't have time. And let's see. Knight c1, knight d6, knight d3. He is threatening to win a piece. But after knight c4, I stopped that threat. I threatened the fork, as you can see. So he has to do something. He did this. And after bishop d4, suddenly he has no moves. I'm threatening to take here and then here. And if he retreats the knight, then he loses a pawn. If he just plays a random move, like king c1, as I told you, I take on a3 and I just win a pawn. But he found the best practical chance, which is to give up the pawn on e5. And here is the mistake that I made, the conceptual mistake. So how did it happen? So I calculated this line. I will show you what I calculated. Knight takes, knight e4 check, king e7, c3. I cannot move my bishop because my knight is hanging, so I have to take the knight. He takes this bishop, and now it looks like my knight is trapped. But it has one square. That's e1. White goes to capture it, and I have bishop g6, and after knight c5 I have this move. It's important to go there. If you go here, you might lose that knight. Not you might, you will lose that knight. So after knight c2, knight b3 defending d4, king d knight e3, I saw all this, and I thought, okay, my knight is getting out, I'm pawn up, I will go for it. But that's the problem. I calculated too much, because in this position, when he gave me this check, there were two simple moves that didn't require calculation. One was just to take with the bishop, give up the bishop pair, but there is no complications and other stuff, and you have a clean pawn and it's a passed pawn. Another option was just to go back with the king to safety and then on the next move capture the pawn, or in a few moves. But what I did is I calculated a line, I got attached to it, and I misevaluated it. Because, let me show you again, this is actually the game continuation. So this is all pretty much forced. And here, I told you, you cannot go to g2 because you lose the knight. Yeah, black has a trick. So if you do something stupid like this, he gets away. But white has tricks. After bishop c2, he can, I think, just go knight c1. So you cannot go to g2. And I instantly played to d5. But now there is a problem. The d4 pawn is controlling e5 and c5, and together with his knight and his bishop, and essentially he's rendering my extra pawn useless. So it's like he doesn't have a pawn deficit. here was the last chance to win the game with the complicated move knight f5. After the game, I analyzed. Actually, my opponent stayed in the chat for some time. We didn't turn on the engine, and I said to him, maybe knight f5 was the move. I wasn't sure, but it looked like it gave me some chances. And then later, I turned on the analysis. Yeah, knight f5 was the move that gave black the winning chances. I'm not winning chances, the winning position. But after knight d5, I didn't appreciate it. I thought, okay, slowly I'm gonna win this game, but it's not possible. Let's see. It's possible if white airs, but if he plays correctly, it's just not possible. And here he gave me a chance. So he gave me a chance because with e5 I could have broken the blockade, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna play some moves, hold everything, and slowly I will untangle. But it cannot be done. Now it's just a draw. We shuffled a little bit. I tried. I'm not going to go into too detail. The video is already long. But yeah, there is no win. Yeah, actually, because this pawn is hanging, I have to repeat the position. So my opponent saved a very difficult position. But once again, sometimes we like to calculate, and that's what we should do most of the time, but sometimes it's detrimental. If instead of calculating a long line that might work or not work, sometimes it's just better to consider another move which requires less calculation, and it will maybe lead to a better position, and also you will save energy by not calculating. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.